Hey guys, B.O.L.T. We're here for Juniors. This is going to be a quick one because last two summaries have been way too long. Anyways, to quickly thing, this is a fan game that is actually supposed to be put in between the Fredbear Family Diner location in 83 and the 87 byte from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is supposed to be the location that had the withered animatronics in it. And you can kind of see where they got Juniors from is because if you go and play the Midnight Motors game in Five Nights at Freddy's 6, also known as Pizzeria Simulator, it is one of the arcade games that are playable, and all you have to do is go through all three laps, and on the bottom of the third lap there is a little opening that you go through, and you discover that William Afton has a few things. There's a graveyard. There's an unmarked grave site. There is another location where he can't go into because of certain current events that was named Juniors in the game. And then if you go down to the other house, you actually meet another being. This could be the mother or the older brother. You can Michael Afton or William's wife, and William goes to knock on the crying child's door, and he escaped. He calls that place, which is probably Junior's or Fredbear's, and you do see that there was some kind of animatronic prints as well. But anyways, we're already at the 2-minute mark. So basically, Junior's, it's only been a few years, but an employee that worked there had died by the spirit of Juniors and has taken up a costume and called himself Paul Bear. And he kind of puts himself in a limbo known as the Bearings. And basically there's someone who's a supernatural investigator. He's investigating the Juniors incidents before its closing, and when he goes to sleep, he gets invited to the Bearings by Paul Bear, and is slowly explained every other night of what the spirit is, and it ends up being the big thing that Paul Bear is terrified of, and this is the spirit that we just called the ghost, and basically she just takes possession of an animatronic every time, every night or every day, and basically during the gameplay, she switches between the animatronics, and you're supposed to guess which one. That way she's pushed out of that animatronic, and she has to go choose another one, or the same one sometimes. And basically you just go through. She slowly makes it harder for the player, like handprints, flickering, taking out the signal of the camera, leaving handprint whenever they leave. There's also glitching, like the BB, and also whenever the camera is taken out of control to suggest the character. And that's all 5 nights, and it's basically just Paul Bear and him eventually make a plan to go into the basement of Juniors, which is where or between VHS tapes and what the Paul Bear says, is he actually found out where she was hiding, and he didn't know what kind of project she was working on, and it turns out that she's possessing the animatronics to go find parts around Juniors to make a new body for herself, and this new body is the Mangle. And basically you're slowly learning that she's putting these pieces together by possessing Freddy, then Bonnie, then Chica, and it's almost complete by night 5. And when you go to night 6, basically there's just a few parts missing, but during the Mangle's the Mangle finally is able to be activated, she takes out the eye of Freddy. She rips off being the ghost. The mangle rips off the face of Bonnie and gives it to the player to actually play a game in the basement. Chica's arms are ripped off. Her jaw is unhinged. Foxy's just torn up a little more than usual. BB's he's got like a porcelain exterior, so that's cracked pretty easily. Same with the puppet. But at like 2:30, I think the game is. She tells all the animatronics to get called to the back room where the mangle is, and just reassembles the mangle with the parts of all the animatronics. And basically, the mangle and the ghost are trying to constantly kill the player after then. And finally, for the final thing the ghost can do is haunt the player in its dreams, but finds the bearings, finds Paul Bear, tries to kill rips apart the spirit of Paul Bear. But of course, the player is someone who's strong enough to actually bring in a knife and stab and depower the ghost, keeping her locked up in the bearings. Then you got to kind of wonder what spirit that is, because if you're locking that character in the bearings, that means it can't be the puppet, and it can't be the crying child or the other female who controls Golden Freddy. So there's 3 spirits else in the spirit that actually goes around possessing the animatronics. Because technically, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is when the 5 original spirits were actually killed. So technically, only the crying child and the puppet are actually active at this point in time. But anyways, Juniors is shut down, and they go and start up to kickstart the franchise again with Five Nights at Freddy's 2's location. Anyways, I have 5 minutes to go on explain the unmask, which is pretty easy. But anyways, that was Juniors. It's basically kind of fumbling the ball with the possession and the ghost lore. But it's kind of understandable with what they're doing. With employees have died at the Fazbear Entertainment, and there probably has been more people killed by William prior to the 5 murders. But anyways, it's time for Unmask. I'll see you guys next week, and we'll be starting to do next Sunday. We'll be starting to do horror stories. So I'll see you guys in October. So bye bye.